Hello everybody, welcome back to Country Girl. Today we are going to do a very pretty Valentine's Day DIY, and what you're going to need to make this project are 2 candlesticks, both from the Dollar Tree. You are going to want to get you one of these little balls here. Now this is kind of like those foam balls, kind of makes you think of one of them stress balls, but this is a little bit tighter. It's not so easy to squeeze. So you are going to want to get you one of those. And if you prefer, you could also use a styrofoam ball as well. It's just that these are only $1, and the styrofoam balls, when I priced them at Walmart, were about $3.50. And then you'll want to get you a roll of crepe paper or party streamers. And of course, for Valentine's Day, pink, white, red, light pink, fuchsia, anything like that would be great. Or you can also mix them if you want to. But we are going to be using this to make our flowers because I'm trying to keep this project for around $5. And purchasing flowers to use to take off the buds of the flowers got a little costly when I was doing my math. So you can still do that if that's what you prefer. But I'm going to show you the cheap way of making them yourself. That way you can save a few dollars. So we're going to go ahead and get started, and I'm going to show you how to make this beautiful Valentine's topiary. And I did forget to mention that you are going to need some spray paint. Now I used white for mine, but whatever color you choose, gold would also be very pretty. And then you're also going to need some glue. I always like to use E6000 because that just seems to be the glue that works the best as far as holding stuff. And then also you are going to want to use a glue gun. So what I'm going to do first is I'm going to go ahead and glue my candlesticks, and you do want to start this project about 24 hours before you plan on doing it, because when you're using E6000 glue like this, you do want to give it time to cure. So what I'm going to do is I am going to turn these two upside down, and this is what I'm going to want it to look like. And so my glue is actually going to be around this right here. Not very hard to do, just put a very thin amount, because once you press it down it is going to smear, and if you get it too thick then you're going to end up with glue around your base here. So I am going to start by doing that first. And it does have a little bit of a flat edge here, so you can have enough shelf space here for your glue. So now all I'm going to do is put this on it. You do want to make sure that you line it up to where it's like it's supposed to be, that it matches. So now I'm going to let this sit, like I said, for 24 hours. I am going to spray paint mine white. I'm not going to show that process to shorten the video. That's kind of self-explanatory. But after I get this painted white and everything, then we're going to come back and I'm going to show you how to make your rosebuds. So we're going to go ahead and start making our roses, and I have already started making some of these ahead of time. So I'm just going to go ahead and finish using the crepe paper that I currently have, but I decided to go with the hot pink or fuchsia. And just to let you know ahead of time, these do not have to be perfect. Each one of them may end up looking different, and it's going to take some time to do because each one of these topiaries does require quite a lot of buds in order to cover the entire ball. So you might want to do this one night while you're sitting in the living room. Just plug your glue gun in right beside of you, and then just get you a little bowl. This is the bowl that I have gotten here, and I just drop them in it as I make them. So not really hard to do. You can even incorporate your children, grandkids, let them help you out. But I'm basically going to cut about this much. And if you want to measure yours to make sure they're all the same length, that's a great idea. But I hate measuring anything, so I eyeball it all. Gets me into trouble a lot of times, but that's just how I am. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take just a little piece, not very much, of the beginning here. This is where I'm going to start, and then I'm just going to fold this in like this. And then what you're going to do is you're just going to fold it a couple of times, well, 2 or 3 times. And then once you do that, you're going to start wrapping this. And as you wrap, you are going to twist. And it's the twisting of your paper that's going to give you the petals that you're going for. So as you see, and you don't want to make them really tight, but you don't want to make them really loose either. So you're just going to continue around, twisting. Trying to do this where my hands is not in the way. And depending on how big you want your buds to be is how much paper that you're going to use. So I want mine to be about this big, so that's where I'm going to stop. And so what I'm going to do is, after I get it where I want it to be, I'm going to very gently let go of the bottom, because I am holding that little piece back there. And I'm going to put a little bit of hot glue here, and I'm going to secure it so that it does not come undone. Now, these are not going to be extremely tight because of the way they're wound. So you do still have to be careful with them, but once you get them glued onto your ball, you're going to have that extra security of the glue on the bottom that's going to make sure that these do not come undone or unraveled. So like I said, I'm just putting a little bit of hot glue here just so that that piece stays secure, but you just don't want to pull on it or anything, is what I'm trying to say, because they can easily come unraveled even with the glue. And so that is one of mine so far. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to continue doing these, and I'm just going to make them, and I'm going to put down below on this video. The reason why I can't tell you now is because I don't really know at this time, but I am going to let you know exactly how many rosebuds I use, so that you'll have kind of an idea of how many you're going to need to make ahead of time. And it is just easier to go ahead and get all your rosebuds made. That way all you got to do is literally just sit and glue. This is the most time consuming part, and so this project is probably going to take you a couple of days to do, depending on, you know, what you've got going on, whether you work or whatever. But just because you have to have time to do your candlesticks, as well as, you know, take the time to make these roses. So anyway, I'm going to get this done, and then we will come back and put everything together. Okay, so now I have got all of my roses made. I've got a few that were a little bit different shade of pink, and I didn't make a whole bunch of these just because I was mainly just wanting to see what this color would look like. Just make sure that wherever you buy your party streamers that you get enough to make. I'm actually making 2 of these. So if you do decide you want to make 2, make sure you have enough to make your 2, because I had a hard time finding this particular shade, and I had to actually go out and buy another one to finish my second one. And yeah, so anyway, I'm going to take these out. This is a really pretty color of pink, and I think this pink did come from Party City. So if you are interested in this pink, then that's where I got that. The pink that the Dollar Tree sells is a very, very light pink. It's actually a lot lighter than this. It's more of like a bubblegum pink or a baby pink. So anyway, I went ahead and I made a bunch of little roses. That way I could just start gluing. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my little ball here. Just looks like the earth. Take the plastic off of it. And one good thing about using this ball, 1, it's the perfect size. But 2, because it's foam, you know, it's just really easy to work with, and the surface is really great for hot glue. So what I'm going to do is I do have a skewer here, and I didn't tell you when I had my supplies out because I always forget something, but you are going to need a skewer. Now if you don't have any skewers and you have bought some little heart picks or something like that, you can take the heart off of the heart picks and use the pick that came on. I'm going to find the center of this, and then I am going to poke a hole and push this right on through about halfway. You don't want to go all the way through, but you want to go through enough that it's going to hold. So I'm going to have it like this. One thing good about this is as I glue, I can spin this around, and then also when I want it to dry, I can just clamp it on something and hang it up like that. So I am going to start gluing my flower pieces on. It doesn't really matter where you start. I think I'm just going to start on the top, and then I'm just going to kind of like go around and work my way around all the way to the bottom. And let's see, let me grab a flower here. So I'm going to start with this one on top. And all I am going to do is take my hot glue, and I'm just going to make a circle right there. Now this will use a lot of hot glue, I'm not gonna lie to you. You are going to use a lot of that. So depending on what kind of glue gun you have, you might want to stock up on you some glue sticks. And as you do this and put these side by side, now it's not going to be perfect, and there might be just a little bit of space that needs to be filled in. But one good thing about these party streamers is that you can kind of squeeze them together and make the room that you need, and you'll see what I mean in just a minute, without it like messing it up. So now I'm just going to take some more, and I'm going to just add these around. And when I put this one on, I do want to try and get it as close to this one as I can. And you want to kind of make sure that it's not, you don't have to wait for it to completely harden, but you do want the hot glue to set just a little bit before you move on to the other ones, because you don't want them, you know, sliding around all over the place while you're doing this, because then you'll really end up with a mess. So I usually just wait a few seconds in between each one. And so what you see me do when I am clipping these little pieces here, when I put these roses onto the piece here, the part that you hold on to tends to be a little bit longer. So when you press it down, this is going to push up, and when it does, it actually makes this little piece stick out. And so all I'm doing once I get it glued on is I'm just clipping that a little bit, just so that I don't have all these little points on my rosebuds. Okay, y'all, so the hard part is done. And I think that this turned out really, really good. I had already made one before, and I actually think this one turned out best. So before I show you how I'm going to attach this and put this on the candlestick, I do want to show you how to fill in any missing or any little gaps that you may have between your flowers. Now, I didn't have as many gaps in this one as I did my other one, but I do want to show you anyway. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just take a little tiny piece. You know, you don't even have to be cut perfect. And any place that I have a gap, like I've got a little gap right here. So I'm going to fill that in. And all I'm going to do is I'm just going to take like a little wood dowel. You can do this with a pencil or anything. And then I'm just going to stuff that into this hole. And I'm just going to keep pushing. Sorry, I'm trying to do this right-handed and I'm left-handed. So I'm just going to keep pushing it down in there. And then, you know, that just fills that in. You don't even know it's there. So anyway, and like I said, you know, I'll go around any other ones that I see that I have. I will do the same thing too. But I'm going to go ahead and show you how I'm going to put this in. Now, I struggled with how to do this, and on my last one I did it a little bit different, but I think I'm going to try something new. I think what I am going to do is I tried to put floral foam in here first, and that just was not, well, I don't think it worked very well. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my E6000 glue, and I am going to fill the base of this, just that little hole there, and then I'm going to break my stick or cut my stick off to where I want it to be. I want it to sit kind of like this. You know, you don't want it to sit completely down. Now you can just set your ball on it like that and be done with it. And that's, you know, an option too. Really don't weigh that much. So you could just put it on there like that and let it go. But if you do want it to be more secure, I'm going to suggest cutting your stick off. You want it to be long enough to be glued down into the base of this, but yet sit kind of like that on your vase or on your candlesticks. So I'm going to see what I can do. All right, there we go. And so that is perfect. That sits exactly the way I want it to. And so what I am going to do, I did also, just so I can hold it up steady when I put the glue in there, because I don't want it, you know, to like wobble around, although I think it will be okay. I am actually going to put a few of these little white rocks. Now, I didn't buy these this year, but I did purchase these at the Dollar Tree. They were just some that I had left over from a previous year. So, and I'm going to try and pick out the smallest rocks, and it's just so that when I put it down in there, it stays secure. So I'm just going to take my E6000 glue and pour it a little bit down in the bottom here. All right. And so I'm going to probably drop bigger rocks first, because I don't want them to actually get into the hole where I want my stick. But I can't completely put it down yet, because if I do, I won't be able to get anything else in there. Okay, so I've got the rocks added in there, and I am going to put this up on top of my mantle. So when you do it like level like that, but as you can see, and this is just looking almost straight across at it, you cannot really see the rocks. So I'm very happy with the way this turned out. I did make 2 of these, so one is going to go on each side of my mantle, and I just am super excited about this. I think this might be my best Valentine's Day decoration yet. You can also decorate this with bows if you want to, but I think that I'm just going to leave it just like it is, and you know, to me it just looks more chic this way. But anyway, I hope you enjoyed watching today's video. If you decide to make one of these, definitely post it on Instagram and tag me so that I can see how yours turned out. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye.